Alright, what's up Guardians? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over the Destiny 2 Vidoc infiltrating the Lawless Frontier, aka Renegades Vidoc. So Renegades is going to be launching in sometime in December, and this video we're going to be going over all the Easter eggs or inspiration that Bungie used from Lucasfilm's Star Wars series. So I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Feel free to comment if I've missed anything based off your opinion or your review as well. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Seeing how stunningly Star Wars it felt was electric.
Okay, so immediately we're greeted with the lightsaber, potentially new exotic coming. Looks like we can deflect shots coming from these Cabal here. Additionally, we have a mechanic where we can throw it and it comes back to us, so that's pretty cool. If you look a little closer, we have a ship here that resembles very closely to the X-Wing on Dagobah. So this could be one of the new destinations or new places we're going to be going. So Dagobah references, X-Wing, we got lightsaber throwing, very cool start.
I just jumped into that walker and I just annihilated the encounter.
Now they say walker, they mean ATST. This is coming from the original series of Star Wars back in the 70s and 80s. Now I think they had some revamped versions in 7, 8, 9, the movies, but definitely the OGs kind of the ones to stick to here.
Squeezing that trigger and feeling that blaster just go off, it was like a whole new world opened up for.
Yep, and we have the Han Solo blaster, which is going to be resembling the legendary sidearm we got from Dares of Eternity, so that's pretty cool. I think they said this is a special ammo sidearm, so it's almost one-to-one from that gun, so if you enjoy that, you'll like this one.
Me.
Sounds good too.
There's something really special here that we haven't really done in Destiny before.
That ignition, that hiss, that sound.
Yep, there's the lightsaber again. The helmet almost looks like Titanfall 2, but I digress.
Oh, it's like that. Okay.
All right, we got the Sarlacc pit right here on, looks like Mars, but if we're looking at it from a Star Wars perspective, this could easily be Tatooine. Yep, Mos Eisley, the background there. Potential. This is exactly how episode 4 starts and how Rogue One ends. Spoiler, I guess, if you haven't seen those movies. Yeah, this is super Star Wars intro here.
We begin in the shadow of a prophecy that says our end is already written. It's here we draw a line in the sand where we start the long journey to fight our fate. In Renegades,
you can hear the alarms going off in the background, very Star Wars-esque.
Guardians infiltrate a criminal underworld to save a friend whose past has caught up with.
Obviously, we have, looks like Drifter stuck in this stasis carbonite type, so it's giving us Han Solo frozen in carbonite vibes.
And disrupt the rise of powerful new enemies. In special collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, we took inspiration from Star Wars to craft a one-of-a-kind Destiny story.
ATST look good.
Redefines what an expansion can be. It brings the grit, guns, and glory of a space western to Destiny. But Renegades isn't just about power. It's about what you're willing to risk to change the future.
Drifter rocking the thorn.
Folks at Lucasfilm were such great collaborators. They understood that in order for this to work, we had to find where the Venn diagram of our two stories meet. Themes of underdogs rising up against something much larger than themselves. Themes of hope. Those little places in that Venn
hiding all their
diagram
monitors so we don't see what they're doing.
The story that we want to tell together.
If you look
All
at
right,
Star
back to the
Wars,
Sarlacc
you look
pit,
at Destiny,
Mars.
you kind of see that parallel that exists. So for instance,
X-Wing.
Dredgen, they're Sith.
Pretty Sithy.
Yeah, and then you've got the.
All right, and it looks like they're almost mirroring the Stormtrooper First Order type armor, so pretty cool. Definitely a classic from a cinema perspective.
Imperium, and they are very.
This dude looks mean in the background. I don't think he's a Star Wars base at all, but he looks pretty gnarly.
Very Empire-like. They have a huge appetite for expansion.
I think of the Praxic Order. There are Jedi in this release, and they are very focused on order and law and understanding that there is a binary in our universe of good and evil. We get to poke at that a little bit in a way that suits our story and our world. Whilst
It's kind of interesting they say Jedi are going to be in this expansion. That's bringing it directly from Star Wars. So I guess that would be the first real Star Wars integration into Destiny. If we're saying Jedi are going to be in the expansion, that's pretty direct at that point.
still feeling very much like the inspiration that we're calling from. Edge of Fate leaves us with a really big pass forward into the future. We know of this prophecy now that tells us that we need to bind the Nine or we face extinction. And Drifter was there on Kepler. He saw all of this.
Not running from this one.
Drifter is convinced that there's a connection between the Nine and the rise of this new faction, the Barrent Imperium. He sees them rising at an unnaturally fast rate and is insistent that...
Again, this is just kind of classic Star Wars, having all the stormtroopers waiting on their Emperor to come in, or Darth Vader to come in on their ship. This is kind of like their vehicle bay on their ship, so they're just kind of... They're presenting. Let's go with that. They're getting ready for some arrival.
There's a problem. But the Vanguard isn't listening. They're insisting that he needs to stand down.
The cool thing about this criminal underworld is you and Drifter and your crew, you come in at the bottom, and at the top, there's the Barrent Imperium. You need to work with all.
If you watch the Han Solo movie at all, you kind of got a glimpse into some of the criminal underworld that they have, the Pikes, and it looks like Crimson Dawn was one of them as well. This is giving that same kind of inspiration as well. That you got your leader here sitting on the throne, and his bodyguards there. So yeah, very close to Star Wars there with the crime syndicates.
All these crooked criminal syndicates in between, earning your power, building up the notoriety, getting the gear that you
Vex with clothes. That's all you need for this expansion. That makes sense.
need to take down.
And they're
that
playing
powerful
cards.
Imperium at
So
the
card
top.
game's questionable coming.
There's a weapon.
All right. And so they say weapon here. Now, if you kind of look at this closely, this almost looks like the tower itself. And I don't know how that would play into the story, but again, typically with Star Wars, there's some sort of big weapon, whether that's the Death Star, Death Star 2, the planet one from 7, 8, 9, like there's some sort of super weapon out there, and this looks like that's kind of what the Cabal may be cooking up here.
That the Barrent Imperium have made, and we need to be the ones to destroy it. And we're not going to be able to do that unless we work with exactly the kind of people that we normally fight. So we're going to head out to the lawless frontier, and one job at a time, we're going to take down the Imperium.
The lawless.
Looked like they were in a junkyard there. Again, lore junkie, Star Wars. That's where Anakin and his mom, Shmi, were working when Anakin met Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn.
Frontier is filled with big, chaotic, cooperative activities. You're going to choose the job, you're going to choose which renegade abilities you're going to take into those jobs, and then you're going to drop into the action with your team, smash up those objectives, get as many riches and treasures as you can, and then get out or die trying.
Very, very Helldivers-esque. This is not so much Star Wars, but get in, get your stuff, get out. I don't think it's going to be like Tarkov or anything like that, but I guess new game mode could be cool.
To do that, you're going to go to the Lost Frontier holo map. You'll see Mars, Europa, and Venus with swamps that.
Yep, there's the Dagobah swamp again with the X-wing-ish type vehicle in the back.
Are very reminiscent of Dagobah. There's some hints of Hoth in Europa, right?
Yep. Yeah, hints of Hoth. So you have AT-ATs here, essentially the snow fight that they had in episode 5 to begin, when Luke is still training, getting visions of Obi-Wan to go to Dagobah.
For fans of both Star Wars and Destiny, like Mars, which is some pits that are very reminiscent of Sarlacc pits, and you don't want to fall into them, you'll die.
These are Destiny locations. It's just
Yeah, I just missed it there, but they had the ground turret. It's very similar to Star Wars, even on Hoth again as well.
We're taking inspiration from some of these iconic places in Star Wars.
Yeah, you can't not see Luke snagging a lightsaber out of the air from R2 here. For episode 6, that's where we're at. Start of episode 6 right there.
Let's say we go to Mars and you're gonna pick a bounty hunting job for the Fallen to take out some Cabal.
Yeah, bounty hunting, sabotage, smuggle, all right up Han Solo's kind of alley, kind of what we thought here. So if we're gonna be hunting, you know, I guess bounty hunting is gonna be more of a Boba Fett type gameplay. Sabotage would be maybe a rebel type activity, and then smuggle, that's kind of where Han Solo, I guess, in his smuggler-esque lifestyle come in.
And then
But yeah,
either matchmake
even in the
with
game
people
modes.
online, you take your crew with you, you can play solo. Every time you drop in, you might be in a different location on the map. Your objectives are gonna be a little different each time.
Trying to look at the armor here, see if there's any Star Wars resemblances. I don't see anything top of mind, but definitely the weapon here that almost looks like a blaster of some sort. It's hard to tell.
I mean, it also might be a different time of day, so there's a lot of variety and richness within these activities as we want them to be highly replayable. Along the way, we're going to throw...
This looks like a strand pulse that charges, so could be interesting. Maybe that's a fusion. It's kind of hard to tell.
a bunch of curveballs. You might run into a missile tower that's trying to take you out from halfway across the map. And you have to like divert and take it out, and you get some extra credits out of that. Defeat your boss, get to the exfil with whatever time you've got left. Call your ship in. All hell drops in on your head from the Cabal. Your ship flies in. You hop aboard, and you've got to exfil.
Yeah, that definitely looks more like a pulse.
Over the course of the campaign and deep into the post-game of Renegades, you're going to be unlocking and earning a bunch of different Renegade abilities.
We've got things like airstrikes, Cabal drop pods, vehicles like the Cabal walkers, interceptors, swoop bikes, turrets. We've got 9 abilities, 7 upgrades. There's a ton of stuff that you can bring in and just change how things play.
It's like a tech tree of options.
It's like a whole
Even the
tree of
ship in the
options
back
across-
there. The ship in the back looked like an A-wing almost. We can go back just a little bit here. Yeah, right here. That almost looks like an A-wing. And then to here, it looks like you kind of have a helping bot, so maybe something like an R2-D2 type
Tree of
companion.
It's like a whole tree of options across support, defensive, and offensive abilities, so the player's going to have a lot to play with here.
The Lawless Frontier isn't just about raw power. It's about influence. Shady backroom deals, working for these powerful syndicates and against them at different times. And all of this takes place at the heart of the criminal underworld and Tharsis Outpost.
Yeah. It's a cantina.
The Vanguard
Can
have
be
been
hard to miss.
preoccupied. They've been off saving the world, and they haven't been looking at Tharsis. It's changed a lot since the last time we were there.
It's now this thriving black market, this criminal underworld.
Yeah, it looked like they were playing a card game.
Darcis Junction.
Kinda curious
became
if card
Darcis
games come
Outpost.
Come to
If you
Destiny
have
2
an
after
unsavory job
Destiny
that you
Rising.
need done, you can find it at
Ooh, like
Darcis
Spider.
Outpost.
Tharsis Outpost.
Spider's back. Look at that. Spider confirmed. Pretty cool.
Every job that you need done, you can find it at Darcis Outpost.
Tharsis Outpost feels appropriate for both Star Wars and for us. When we looked at Mos Eisley as inspiration, we knew that we could.
It's kind of interesting the color schemes they're choosing for this Fallen. I know this isn't a Star Wars take, but this looks very similar to the raids that we've had and the dungeons that we've had that are, golly, Vow of the Disciple and Sunder Doctrine. Very similar color pattern. I don't know if that's got anything to do with them, but I think that's something we could probably keep an eye on.
Play in that playground in a really fun way. From the ghosts that you'll see floating around to one Elixni with all 4 of his Elixni arms shaking after
Yep.
we
Potentially blue milk here.
took that inspiration
For the Vex.
and we found the Destiny spin on it. Criminal syndicates have moved in.
You're working with the syndicates. You are building your notoriety with them.
The 3 different syndicates that we created, we're going to be dealing with. The Pikers are Elixni. They're kind of like an anarchist biker gang. Unlike other Elixni, they're atheists. They don't worship machines. They follow relics. We've also got the Totality Division, a subsect of the Barrent Imperium. They're run by Scions, and their enforcer Rao is going to be the leader of this group. And we've got Tharsis Reformation. They are a breakaway group from Maya's Vex. They're starting to think for themselves and figure out what it means to be an individual.
They're starting to do crime. They're, they're wearing clothes.
He said, "Hit me."
Crime and wearing clothes are what all individuals do. We need to have new people to fight and new people to root for. And this was our opportunity.
But the heart of the Renegade fantasy is not just surviving the lawless frontier. It's garnering influence and building your power so that you can bend it to your will.
In the end game, to get the best weapons, the best armor, the coolest exclusive cosmetics, you're gonna need to work with the syndicates to increase your notoriety by completing jobs successfully.
Becoming a
alone with
bounty
the
hunter,
crew, and
essentially.
in doing so, you'll unlock our highest risk, highest reward jobs, and at the same time, you're gonna have the ability to do the special job that'll take you off planet to the dungeon.
Yeah, it's given that Sunder Doctrine type vibe again. So off planet looks like it potentially could be Mars, Venus with the foliage here. So we'll see.
And you'll also unlock Invasion.
That's right, Invasion is back. But this doesn't work like Gambit. It's opt-in. The invader has some initiative when invasion begins. This is more strategic.
You scan the battlefield and you're like, okay, is this the right time for me to take the shot? And what's the right tool for me to do it? Do I use an airstrike or a vehicle? Do I use a Cabal Walker?
Just watch out for that double cross.
Yeah.
Renegades marks the Guardian's descent into a criminal underworld.
Yep, said that.
A world of shadows and syndicates, where your light and your choices will cut a path forward. You'll fight dirty, break the rules, and build a hardened crew that can take on any job.
The
standing
Obi-Wan
up to the
stance.
most ruthless
Hard to
syndicates
miss.
in the system.
Lightsaber coming through.
Even in the darkest corners of this world, there's still a glimmer of hope. Guardians will have to find their own version of balance between loyalty and survival, between power and purpose. Because there's more at play than credits and contracts. Forces are on the move, ones that see you not just as
Definitely
a player,
Darth
but as a
Vader
piece of the
vibes.
board.
Just white armor. And that could potentially
To
be
change the
clones,
future, you'll have
you
to
know?
become the one thing
We'll see.
they
Siva
never saw
clone
coming.
Cabal. Okay, so we just missed it by the frame, but that looked like a red saber, so potential enemy there.
Start the engines. Take off as soon as you can.
And then here we have gold. So if they're sticking to the same theory that sabers have a certain color meaning, gold here is going to be their defender type. And then red obviously has been some sort of corruption leading to the dark side. So if this plays the same, and it looks like we have the same kind of symbol here as we did on the Titan, this is going to be an ally, likely. I don't know what this is. This looks like the Eye of Sauron. I don't know. Maybe that's another DLC they're working on, but something to consider. But yeah, gold typically means they're a defender. I think even in Jedi lore, they're the defenders of the Jedi Temple. Obviously, Anakin got past them. But yeah, we got a red saber here. It looks like almost like a warlock. So, Warlock's evil. December 2nd, 2025. Pre-order now. All right, that's just about it for this video. We had a handful of confirmed, identified Star Wars Easter eggs or inspiration. If you found anything in the video that I didn't see myself, feel free to comment below. If you like this type of video, hey, hit subscribe, like us, comment. Don't. That's cool too. We're small, so hey, that's whatever. But in the meantime, y'all take it easy.